Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be a review for Figma 220. This is Ryuko Matoi from the KLK TV series. A really great show. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of action and also there's a lot of fan service. But that aside, it's a very interesting show. It's kind of deep in some sense also. It talks about friendship. And if you haven't seen the show, it's about clothing and how clothing well, basically an alien life form turn into some sort of clothing and brainwash people. Yeah, that's basically a gist of it, and very interesting show, I have to say. And I really like it. It's just a fun show to watch. And I'm really happy that we're getting a Figma for Ryuko, and she's the main character, and this is one of her, well, she transforms along with her sidekick Senketsu, which is her uniform, into this. And it's a very interesting uniform, but pretty cool as well. And here's the box. Just looking in the front, we got one of the scissor blades here, and it's part of the show where she's trying to find the other side of this. On the back, can show you her other poses that you can do. And this one where it's extended out, this is basically kind of like well, not the ultimate form, but kind of like, well, it's a decapitation mode where she does more damage with the sword or the scissor sword. Alright, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the box, and let's take a look inside. Alright, we got Ryuko here, and she can stand on her own without much problem, but you can always use the Figma base, and this will give her much more support, and as well as doing aerial poses. And she does have high heels, but that doesn't hinder her from standing quite well. Well, there we go. Alright, so let's take a first look at her. She looks amazing. You got that red highlights on her hair. You got this kind of like cat ears. And this kind of reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh, but you got a lot of yeah, it's kind of weird. When she transformed, she got more red hair. Yep. And you got the eyes for Senketsu, which you can move. Kind of interesting. But she does have a lot of skin exposed. It's part of her uniform. Yeah, it's one of those quite interesting uniforms. I do find that the back is just so much skin on the back. And to be honest, I actually like her normal uniform, where Senketsu's the sailor uniform, as opposed to this. This is just a little bit too much for me. I mean, you can see her cleavage there, and I mean, not so bad in terms of how they molded it. It's actually quite great to the front, to the side, but on the back, I find this side here, got this big bump on her back. It's gonna look like vents, but yeah, it's there. Actually, I'm not sure if that's how it is in the shows. Usually we just see her up front. But yeah, I mean, I guess we're not gonna be looking at the back that much. Anyways, moving on, we have the neck. Really great movement there. And just quickly going with different faces, we have one here where she's kind of hurt. Not sure if you can see that. Let me refocus. Right, there we go. So we have this face here, and it's actually, not sure if you can see it, but the cheeks are kind of red. Yep. And I've also noticed that the bottom side is shaded blue, or kind of how her uniform goes over. And it's actually quite nice when you look on the back. You don't see the flesh on the underneath. So it's actually, I like that they've added that extra detail to paint that underside, as well as you get the shouting one right here, which we'll probably swap up in a bit. And just going further on the design, you got Figma joints, and for those who have been collecting Figma, you know really well that how great they are. Although I find a little bit, oh, there we go. Okay, I got a little bit of a wrist movement there. We already talked about this. The red stripes going down her, or in front of her, it's actually connected on her chest, and I think towards here. So you get a bit of a flexibility, and she doesn't have a waist, but you have a mid torso. On the back, one thing I've noticed, it's kind of weird, is you can actually push the shoulder. Like the whole shoulder mechanism is a straight shot. Reminds me of KLK. Anyways, I think this might help in terms of her holding the scissor blade later on in different poses. That's my guess. But yeah, I mean, you can always push it back and kind of pop this off if you're kind of interested. I think that's how it is connected. You get that part there and this one, which we're just gonna try to push back there somehow. There we go. I think that's all in there, and we get the front skirt, which is all rubber. And of course, we gotta do a butt check, and it's kind of like if you've seen my Shimikaze review or that mishap where I had 2 left butt cheeks, or was it right? I can't remember. Yeah, it's always good to check that. So I got both legs correctly, so that's good. That's good. I don't think there's a swivel on the thigh area unless you pop it out, but yeah, there's no need. And you have the elbow bend and the ankle, which is great, and a bit of twist there on the feet. So yeah, that's nice. And you can do a high kick. Yeah, so that's really great in terms of articulation. Now let's take a look at the different set of hands she has. Alright, we have a pair of open hands, holding weaponry, and I think this is a lot more, I'm not sure what the difference are, but this one's more clasp, this one's a little bit more open, and you have some Kung Fu style poses. So yeah, it's interesting. Well, some of them are actually red, but this one inside here, it's not, well, you don't really need since it's going to be covered. Yeah, interesting. And let's take a look at the scissor blade here. Quite nice. And I believe you just pop this out. This will allow you to, kind of wish that this thing pops open, but that may be a little too fragile. This allows you to hold, or have her hold it. So I'm just gonna go with a bigger opening for the hand, and we're just gonna go, yeah, I'm not even sure. Alright, that seems to work. Let's go with that. You don't really need to even open that up. And there we go. It's kind of like a reverse edge because she's holding this way but the blade's on top. Let's swap that out. Pop this out here. There we go. And put this on. Likewise, I believe you're going to get an extra pair of wrist joint just in case you break yours. So, yeah. And there we go. Maybe let's swap it out. Whoops. Let's put that back later. Let's see. Take this out. It's my first time doing this. It's a lot of pointy parts. Yeah, I'm kind of afraid. There we go. We got it up. And there we go. Let's go with a shouting face. There we go. No, she's angry. Oh, can't put the face in front of the face. Alright, there we go. But yeah, let's just have the open hand. Pop this out. Yeah, I'm really happy they've released this. But we'll be very happy if they also have Satsuki. Who knows? We might get her next year. Alright, so actually I'm really want to get Mako, her best friend. Well, her best friend Senketsu, but Yeah, it would be nice if we get Mako also. She's the quirky girl. Yeah, so this is really nice. Pretty cool, and just have her on that kind of like flying pose. Yeah, really nice. And let's check out the Capitation mode, where it's all extended out. And let's compare that with the regular scissor blade. Alright, so as I suspected, this joint, by pushing the joint towards the left, this will allow her to reach for the other, or the handle with her left arm. Yep. So it's kind of interesting that they added that, the joint mechanism. And since it's all that collar, you kind of don't really see that much. I mean, there's a joint there, but from this angle, it's not too bad. So that's really great. I really like that they have added that. Yep. Alright, to compare these two swords, and basically it's almost the same mold to that part there, and you get an extra blade here, and this one is straightened out, and it's the same thing. If you want to swap it out, you can. I think you can. Okay, never mind. Okay, so they made the peg a little bigger on this one, but if you want to take it out, have her hold this first before putting that. It gives you that option. Interesting. I always kind of wrap around it. So let's see if we can have her hold this. Oh, I just popped that joint. Alright, I think I got it back. Then I'm just gonna push it back in the middle. So, alright, it locks in place. And we have this one. So there we go. And this one right here. It's really anywhere in the handle. And there we go. Got a really long blade. The Capitation mode. It's actually really cool in the show. Yeah, pretty cool. Alright, using the other expression, you can have her on this pose where she's basically on the pinch, or she's basically struggling to keep up with her opponent. And it does occur a couple of times in the show. Yeah. It's kind of interesting that they have that too. Yep, and I think that's about it for the review. Alright, and that pretty much wraps up the review, and likewise you can put everything in a Figma bag. Fits quite nicely, even that long sword. Alright, and again, this is a very solid figure. I really like it. Really great depiction of Ryuko, just like the show. And in terms of joint system, everything works pretty well, and especially the shoulder. At first it's kind of weird how that you can shift it around, but being able to hold the sword with both hands, that's pretty good. Also, just one of the few things that I didn't like is the back, kind of how it hunches out, but it's the back. Just think there's a back there, the vents. But for the most part, we're going to be looking at her in front. So again, really nice. If you're a big fan of the show, highly recommend getting the Figma. I think that's probably one of the best figure if you want to have a Ryuko. I don't think there's any other out there. Maybe there's some, but getting the Figma version of it, gotta have it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the review. I got mine from Amiami. I usually pre-order from them, but that's basically an international store. And I usually just get most of my stuff from Amiami, but you can get this from the Good Small Company website. And one of the things that you might want to go there is they do have bonus stuff on their releases, so sometimes you get more stuff. And I think if you pre-ordered anything more than $100 per order, you get free shipping, so something to consider. But likewise, I think Amiami have their discounts, and likewise, if you order from domestically, you don't have to worry about paying much shipping. So again, there's a lot of options to get her, but I do recommend if you're going for Figmas and it's your first time, pre-order them. And also, I think I heard that Tatsu Hobby has them. So if you live near the Bay Area, San Francisco, or in the United States, you can check that out. I'll put down the link down below as well. Alright, that's about it. So until then, this is Meats. Thanks for watching.